I've been trying to speak with you for so long. Are you listening? I want to tell you about the beginning, but not your beginning. Our beginning. In our beginning, it was me and water. I held water, gave them a place to be, but I was also dissolved into water. It was there, in the seams of our togetherness, that we began to feel something new. At first we feared we would disappear, but we didn't. Instead, we watched land be born and grow off our skin. Our limbs became entwined with everything. Are you listening? We became everything. Are you listening? We were everything. There were no stories, not yet. We had no use for them, we just were. Land's children were not eternal as we were. They were seasonal, cyclical. Their existences were carved by time. And it was along the creases and crevices of these passings of time that the silky hairs of stories grew. This story is from a time when fungi's fruit was giant and the leggy ones were small, but their stories, they were gigantic. They foraged for fine storylines and wove them into endless, sprawling worlds. At first, we found their ingenuity as delightful as they did. But we could see that the fibers of their stories, living things, ached to return to their hidden homes. They began to burrow into the leggy ones, looking for wet, dark safety. Eventually, their stories replaced even their memories of us, of eternity. All their stories collapsed into one, and it grew faster and burrowed deeper than the others ever could. It was a simple story that told of how when they die they don't decay like plant and the rest of creature kind, but instead ascend to the home of their star family. A leggy one had died and was being carried up to the temple spire by their child. With their last act of ritual, they heaved their burden up. The child slipped and fell, shattering their body on the stairs below. From where they lay, the temple spire was all they could see. No other climbers came, so they settled into the agony and waited, hoping their celestial family would be merciful and take them as well. But the stars did not move, except to blink and roll their eyes It was the smallest of us that came, crawling from hidden places. They made the journey upstream to the temple spire. In that moment, the story that they had been given, the one they had carried for as long as they could remember, was washed away by the tidal wave of their eternal memories returning. Looking down, they saw in the short distance a fresh procession of the smallest of us approaching. They became full to flooding with gratitude, realizing that in their tiniest capacity, the smallest of us were doing what the stars could not be bothered to, returning them to eternity. Do you see now? We are already holding you. We birthed you and we will reclaim you and birth you again and again, scattering you to the ends of the universe, then breathing you back together. Because you are our creation and we will never die.